How you doing, Dan?
Hey, Rick, brother. How are you, mate? Good to
I'm
see
good.
you.
How you,
Very well, brother. Nice picture in the back there as well.
Mr. Francis Albert?
I love it.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan of that era, aren't you? You know,
Oh
you
yeah.
you dress up as you get to play as Elvis a lot, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You done your research? Yes.
How do you fall into that?
How do you fall into that? Well,
Yeah.
it's a long story. How much time we have? Um, my my girlfriend and I developed a show um, with her producing partner. He had come up with this idea of an everyday guy who wakes up one morning and can channel Elvis Presley. Uh, so this meek insurance salesman turns into Elvis, and the story unfolds where he may or may not be Elvis's son. So I get to do this wonderful show playing two characters, and it just so
Ah.
happened to fit my skill set. I didn't even know I could, you know,
So,
sing and move like Elvis, but
well, I know you're a good singer. That's for sure.
debatable. Not like Francis Albert, that's for sure.
So how you been, mate? How was 2020? How was with COVID and all that? How did you deal with that? All right, or
We made it. We made it.
yeah,
Fortunately for what I do, I can do a lot of stuff from home, and I was recording from home, and my kids were homeschooling, and so it was a lot of home, and we're a little sick of each other, but not wood. Everybody was safe and well. How about yourself?
exactly. Same here, man.
Yeah,
We're all safe and well, so that's the main thing, isn't it?
that's it.
How old are your kids, by the way, mate?
My son's going into high school. My daughter's in middle school, and so I got
Wow.
a teen and a preteen, and they're fun.
So have they played Mafia yet? The Mafia series?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So they don't know how cool Dad is.
No, they're so over me. They care less. They
Really?
were excited that I was in SpongeBob though. That earned me some points. Everything else is like, yeah, whatever.
Really? Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
So
they could
when
care.
when do you think that they'll be allowed to play?
40, 45. We
Far
did
out.
break the record. We broke the record for the most F bombs dropped in a game.
You did?
Yeah,
In which one? Number two?
my mother's so proud. Yes, too.
That's so proud. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So talk to me about two, mate. How did you land this role, this iconic role? Talk me through it.
How did I land it? It's just one of those things, one of those series of events. I mean, this is going back, what, 12 years ago, maybe more. Um, just another audition. I happened to be in the room with Jack Scalisi, who from 2K Games, who was directing the game. He knew my work from some other stuff, but very different characters. And we just started talking, and we're from we're from the same area of New York. We
Mm.
similar Italian upbringing, had a lot of things in common. And he's like, yeah, let's start reading some stuff. And he had me read different characters. And he's like, I think you might be right for this guy Vito. I'm like, oh, do tell. So again, you read a bunch of stuff, and then as is typical, you don't hear anything for like weeks, months. And then finally I get a call. They're like, yeah, they want you to do this Vito guy. I'm like, yeah, cool. Go down to the studio, and turns out they had cast also my good friend Bobby Costanzo as Joe. We had known each other. We were in the same theater group. We'd worked together,
Wow.
and we're like, okay, well, I guess we're doing this thing. But the funny part of the story is, I don't know if you know this, the original Mafia 2 was written and developed by 2K Czech. So the script was entirely written in Czech and had to be translated. And it was translated very well by an English gentleman from the UK. So when we got the script, it was written and formatted very properly, Britishly, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna have to rework this whole
So
thing. So
that's
we
why there's
started
so
little
many
by
f
little.
bombs.
Yeah, so we started to little by little, Bobby and I working, and as we were doing that, they were casting some of the other roles, and I happened to be looking at the artwork for the different characters. And I see the character of Henry Tomasino, and I go, wow, this is amazing. This looks exactly like my friend Sonny Marinelli. And they go, really? Is he an actor? I'm like, he's a wonderful actor. They go, bring him in. So we're eating lunch, and the guys from Czechoslovakia are there, and they could barely speak any English. They had a translator, but we're all eating lunch and we're hanging out, and I'm waiting for Sonny. I'm like, he'll be here any minute. Sonny walks through the door, and the two guys from the Czech Republic, mid-bite, stopped and went, it's Henry. They couldn't believe it. And so I was like, you got this, let's go. So from there we went to work, and we had the great pleasure of, three good friends working on this thing, which never happens.
That's so cool.
So it was an amazing experience to develop that, to work with terrific actors, and basically make the script fit ourselves, which was great.
You're right. Not many people get to work with three great friends on a project of this scale.
Amazing experience.
Do you reckon that helped with the performance? As in
100%.
yeah,
100%. Usually, I'm sure you know this already. When you record a video game, you're usually in a booth by yourself, doing line after line after line, and just kind of they're giving you the context, but you're in a bubble. You don't know really what the other people are doing. We were working off each other almost live. And so it totally helped. It helped the relationships, it helped the characters, it helped everything. And it was, I think that's why it resonated with so many people. They really felt like these characters knew each other and were friends, could really work. There was no acting involved.
Wow.
It was, it really helped a lot.
So was it motion capture Mafia 2? I'm trying to think back.
No,
it wasn't.
Mafia 2 was not. Mafia, when we went back for Mafia 3, again, funny story, because when they had originally created Vito, the character, they didn't know me from anything. The character was created, and then I walked in the room. They're like, kind of looks like him. When they went back to do Mafia 3, they were going to do motion capture, and they didn't quite know how to ask me if I had gotten a little too old or maybe a little too heavy. They were like, no, he's got to fit a certain, look.
Yeah.
And I don't know, one of the producers, I guess saw me in a film or a TV show. She's like, oh yeah, he still looks like him. So they brought me back in, and we were able to do that performance capture again all together, which is a great way to do these things because you get to really play off the other actors.
So when you say it was almost live, the second one, were you all in the same room?
At the beginning, yes.
Okay.
As we went into the later sessions, and they had to be more precise about getting stuff clean, then we were back to being individual. But the first maybe 2 weeks, as we read through the entire script, all 1,000 pages of it, we were live.
Right. So who did you ever think the game was going to be that much of a success that you'd still be asked to do cameos now, years later and things like that?
You never know with anything if it's going to have legs.
Yeah.
I knew we were tapping into something. I was not an Am I Now a gamer. I really wasn't really even familiar with the world. I knew, enough about it to be in the world, but I knew we were doing something good only, again, and it all goes back to the relationships, the people that were producing it really cared. They took a lot of attention to detail and took our suggestions and said, if you can do this and make this, we just want to make this better, make it real, make it, so, did I know it was going to be a success or have like, no, but I was proud of it. When we were finished, I was like, that was really good.
How could you not be proud? Hey, unreal. So do you think you'll ever get the chance to step back into that world?
God willing and the creek don't rise.
So we know your answer if they ask, okay?
Oh, 100%. Again, a great group of people, so professional, so welcoming, truly as a family, like going up and doing motion capture. getting to you spend a lot of time with people in a very small room. You really got to like them. And yeah, it's a great group, and I would go back in a second.
So when you got that script for Mafia 3, you must have been
Mhm.
ecstatic because you wouldn't have thought there was ever going to be a follow up, or were you told there might be?
No, no,
Nah.
they don't tell. I mean, especially this day and age, everything now is so super secretive and under wraps. Everything's NDA, and even if I had known about it, I could have talked about it, but I had no idea.
Mm.
Um, um, so yeah, when I got the call, I was very happy. As an actor, you never know where your next job's coming from, and you do something and you think, all right, well, I did that, and now we're done, and now got to figure out what I do tomorrow. But it was great to reprise. I don't know,
Reprise, yeah.
reprise that
Reprise
role.
the role, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the motion capture for 3, that was your first time doing that?
No, I had done PCAP before. I'd done there was a game called The Darkness where I played a character. Also,
Ah, yeah.
2K. I also got to work with the great Bob Zemeckis. Robert Zemeckis. They had just finished doing the Christmas movie, and he was in pre-production for what would become The Walk, which was
Ah.
the movie about Philippe Petit, the guy who did the wire walk between the World Trade
Yeah,
Center.
yeah.
So at the time, he was conceptualizing it as to be completely performance capture and kind of blend this artistic sensibility with the real story. And it was about six of us just kind of going through all the scenes and playing all these different characters in the motion capture. And the movie didn't end up being that way. They ended up just shooting it live action, but his vision of it was pretty incredible. They were doing this great stuff with like French impressionist paintings as backdrops, turning the World Trade Center into Monet's gardens. It was just wild what they were rendering, and I was hoping it was going to work out that way, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, right. So you had experience doing it. So it wasn't.
Yeah.
How many days on set was that for Mafia 3 for yourself? Do you remember?
Again, nothing was really sequential, but it was probably shot over a course of maybe 6 months, and I would go up for a few days, go back home, come back again. We'd shoot two, three scenes. We'd usually rehearse the day before, get there the next day, rehearse again, and then shoot.
Yeah. Can I ask? Is that difficult? Because a lot of actors I talk to have to do that in the video game sphere. They play, yeah, they come for a couple of days and then they're gone for a month and then they got to come back and try and fill the
Mm.
shoes of the. Surely that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I had the advantage of having played the character for so long. I was
You could easily
comfortable
do it. Yeah.
going in and out. The challenge, which is most voice actors, you're doing a line at the time, you have the script in front of you. Doing motion capture, it's really like doing a play. It's like doing a black box theater. You really have to be letter perfect. You have to know your script. You have to know your blocking. Otherwise, you're walking through a wall. Or they're like, nope, that's a stove. You can't go there. You can't. Oh no, you just burned your hand off. Um, so it's very precise. But again, coming from the theater, I felt very comfortable doing it.
Oh, so your theater background, like from the
Yeah,
from the beginnings?
from the beginning. Yeah, when I was coming up in New York, we were doing. I was doing a lot of theater. I was doing some off Broadway. I ended up doing a Broadway show with Neil Simon, and so that was my training. That was my background. And
Well, that's
you know, you leave that behind, and you think, well, that's one chapter gone, and then all of a sudden, there it comes, and you have the opportunity to play in the sandbox again. It's nice.
that's got to help though, like because it's just amazing. I want to see more shows in Broadway or I'm in Australia, so it's not exactly
Yeah,
Broadway, but I'm going to see Hamilton here in
yeah.
Sydney in a couple, so that'll be amazing. But
I sure hope it comes back. They're talking
yeah,
about reopening at limited capacity. It's just there's nothing really like live theater.
no, not at all. A lot of people here are saying, "What happened to Joe at the end? What did you do with him?" A lot of my chat here.
Everybody wants to know about Joe. Everybody always asks me, what happened to Joe?
And
You
what do you
know,
say to them? I've got no idea.
I said he's in Vegas. He's in Vegas having a great time.
Yeah.
He's in Florida playing golf. I don't know. You know, he was a
Chase.
beloved. He was a beloved. It's great because people really loved him and they loved our relationship. And
Yeah.
it tickles me that he gets such sympathy.
So
I wish I had a better answer.
what cameos do you get the most? What do people ask you to do the most?
It's a good question. All kinds. People just sometimes, especially now during the pandemic, it was a lot of, hey, could I get a pep talk from Vito?
Yeah.
Can I get a birthday shout out? Whatever. It tickles me because, it's been such a crazy year, and to be able to just kind of reach out and hopefully put a smile on somebody's face and reach out, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I will link that cameo as well. If any of you guys watching want to get one from Rick, he'll be more than happy to do that. I'll leave the link.
For a limited time only, you get me and you get my dog to do the cameo with me.
Oh,
Right?
that's cute.
That's Evie.
Oh, when did you get? How long?
She's a rescue. She came into our house about a week ago,
Oh,
and we rescued her, and now she won't give me 2 seconds alone. But she's
that's
so
amazing,
flippant
man.
cute, I don't care.
You can't beat dogs, can you?
They're the best.
Amazing
They make
creatures.
A lot of joy.
Death Brewer here says The Darkness was a really good game. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Another fun character to play. I played a kind of a supporting character, also kind of a New York wise guy character, but a little more of a loose cannon. But great fun to play.
Chase O'Brien, your role in Mafia gave me and my grandfather many good memories together. Thank you, Rick.
I appreciate that. I have great memories of my grandfather too, so that touches my heart.
That's amazing. Joe Thomas, really like Rick in Mafia and The Darkness too. One of my favorite voice actors ever. From
Thank you.
Joe.
Appreciate it.
Ismail says, what's your favorite movie, Rick? And you're not allowed to say Mank, because I know you're in it.
I have to admit, I didn't even watch the whole thing.
Oh, really? What is there? What's the reason behind that? Just couldn't get through it?
There's so much good. No, I honestly, we started to watch it, and there's so much good stuff on TV right now. We're in the middle of like 5 different shows, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. We got to finish.
It is a slow burner. It's an amazing production, but it is a
beautifully shot.
Yeah.
Also great. That was one of those where the audition story was better than the actual job. But I auditioned for that movie at Terminal 5 of JFK Airport in New York. I was flying from New York to LA. I get a call, hey, they want you to audition for this David Fincher movie. Can you put yourself on tape? I'm like, I'm getting on a plane. They go, well, it's got to be in
it's David Fincher.
The next hour or you're out of the mix. I'm like, and they want you to sing. I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
So I made the choice. I said, okay, I can either go into the men's room, which was right there. And then I thought, if I'm in the men's room at JFK and the guy next to me started singing to me, I don't think that would end too well. So I was like, you know what? I couldn't. It's New York City. I can't even embarrass myself. Nobody's going to even care. And so I put my phone up and I sang this song, and nobody even batted an eye. It's New York. People could care less. And then I get the call, and like, oh yeah, you get it. And I show up on the set, and literally every person was like, "You're the guy that sent the video in from the airport." I'm like, oh, my reputation precedes.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? So
my favorite movie, though, oh gosh, so many. I mean, all the classics. The Godfather series, of course, I love.
Yeah.
I would have to put that as my number one. It's one of those. It comes on, even if it's on like regular TV, you're just sucked right in. I watch it every single time. I watch it over and over and over again. It's so great.
Yeah. What do you think of?
And my family loves the movie. My father, guy said that him and his grandfather, so many memories. Me and my dad, and every time it comes on, it's like my father. Little trivia: my father actually has a little cameo in the original Godfather movie.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he was a musician, and he's Italian from Italy. And they were looking for native speakers to be in the scene with Marlon Brando around the conference table. And he walked into the audition, and they were like, say something in Italian. And he did. And they were like, great, come to work tomorrow.
So
Smoking a big cigar.
every time you watch it, you're like, "There's Dad."
There's my dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think of Godfather 3? Do you think it holds up against the other two?
It's so easy to slag it off.
Mm,
It's not as good as the first two, clearly, but I recently rewatched it and it was better than I had remembered.
same here.
It was treated very unkindly. There were some very interesting plot points in it. Um, I still wouldn't put it as my favorite, but
Yeah, yeah. Shayan says Vito is the greatest of all time of the whole Mafia series. No arguing that.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Um, I wanted to know as well when you read in the script the death scene. What was your reaction to that?
You talking about Mafia 3?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, wait, what? That's me?
Like, can we get a rewrite here?
Wait a minute. That's how it goes.
Yeah, because that does your heart sink a little bit. Like, oh, you know,
Yeah, a little bit. But,
yeah,
it's also, everything that has a beginning always has an end. So it's, in one way it was nice. You have a little dramatically, for the story, I knew it served the story. Um,
mm,
so, you know, it's somebody's vision to have it pan out that way, and you can either get on board and embrace it or not. But it worked. And I know people were affected by it, which is good. It's always good to get a reaction. Um, but who knows if they, like everything else, he can always come back in another time period or another,
let's
you
hope so,
know,
man.
side story. Yeah, we can all know.
That'd be amazing. What do you think? Do you think that they're working on a Mafia 4 at the moment? Old Hangar 13, or what do you think they're working on
I
over
don't
there?
know. They're always very tight-lipped
Aren't they?
about it. Like I said, I'm usually the last to know. I get a call. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. I have not heard. I have not heard that. Um, I know the franchise has a lot of love. I hope they do. I know there's a lot of people that would look forward to it and embrace it.
with
If they're
with Maf-
listening,
with
get
the
to work.
Mafia Definitive Edition, were you in the loop on that?
I just knew that they were kind of repackaging it. We're kind of releasing it together, remastering stuff. I didn't really know any specifics about it until right before it came out.
Yeah, because they remade the first one, but they didn't. They
Right,
remastered the next two, and
right.
now I get people asking me all the time, "Will they remake the second?" If they did remake the second, I'm guessing would you have to come back for that, or would they be able to use your performance? You think?
The technology evolved
Mm,
quite a bit from when we recorded it to now. I mean, especially with the performance capture. If they were to ever bring it back, I would hope that they would do it with PCAP because, again, just to be able to bring those scenes to life. Again, the in Mafia 2, the cut scenes were done, written, and performed by Czech actors. And then we added the voice to it. So as much as they tried to fix and filter the lip flap, it never truly matched because they weren't speaking English.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so from that to where it evolved in 3, where you can really see our faces, and really the emotions and the subtle gestures. It's gone so far above and beyond. So if it ever did come back, I would hope that they would do it that way.
So you never played 2 or 3 before? You never sat down and played through
I
them?
never did. No,
Really?
I'm useless at video games. My son has tried to engage me a couple times in Minecraft or other things, and
You're just hopeless.
I'm just thumbs, just ruining whatever he's taking, which takes some seconds to create. I'm like blocks falling.
So when the games come out that you're in, you usually just what look up the cutscenes on YouTube. Is that how it's done? Just see your
It,
performance or what?
it seems like they're up almost simultaneously. God bless you all. I don't know who's up there at night
Well, we
cutting.
get them early. That's why we're not
Ah,
magicians. We get the games early.
okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah, so I do get to see some stuff online, and that's
Yeah.
it's always fun. But yeah, as far as playing,
No. Do you think
Not
you ever
something.
will, or you just too past?
No, I mean, I've definitely, I've tried a few just to see what it was like.
Yep.
I have a feeling that if I did, I'd probably love it, and then you wouldn't see me for like 3 years straight because I was playing all these games.
Yeah. Oscar here says toughest scene to record. Rick.
Toughest scene to record?
Yeah. No, maybe not just
Uh,
in Mafia. If you want to, you can include your whole body of work if you want.
oh boy. Um, the tough ones are where you have to really venture far outside of yourself. You always bring some of the only way to really make it real is to bring some of yourself to each character. I always looked at Vito as he was not an evil character. He was not a bad guy. He was essentially a good guy who, because of choices in his life and circumstances of his life, did bad things. But I never saw him as an evil character. I've played some evil characters, and that is hard. When you just have to strip away any humanity
Mm.
and surrender to the fact that you just have to be disgusting. That is truly hard. Especially now that I have kids, it's like anything that involves kids, and I had to do a couple things like that in the past.
Oh
And
yeah, that's shocking.
whoa, just makes
Yeah,
you
yeah.
cringe.
I know what you mean. Alex here, this ties into what you just said there, and he said, do you dislike or like Vito as a person? Do you think Vito is a good person that got
Hundred
sucked
percent,
into a bad. Yeah.
100%. You know, to compare him to somebody like Michael Corleone, who, again was started out. This is not the life for me. This is not the life for me. So of course, this is going to be the life for him. And that's the character arc, the classic character arc of tragedy. You become the thing that you despise or become the thing that you don't want to do. That's the conflict that lives within the character.
Wow, man. It's amazing, isn't it? So, you got any upcoming projects that you can talk about in games or TV or movies or anything like that?
Yeah, well, SpongeBob just came out. That was a fun little thing. And I'm not featured prominently in it, but I have a couple
A couple of
couple little
lines?
spots here and there, and that
Love
was
it.
just great fun to be a part of that franchise. And
Oh, yeah.
again, that was the one thing that my kids were truly excited about, so that made me smile. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, and it's things are, thank gosh, the pandemic is looks like it's finally easing out here in California, and production is back. So I've started working again on camera and
Amazing.
back doing TV and films again. So that's got a few things coming up, and there are a few games in the pipeline. I can't talk about them,
I
NDAs,
know, I know.
but there will be some new titles with my voice behind them. So when they come to light, I will let you guys know.
Prominent roles or what?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so I'm going to have you back then, Rick.
I
I'll give you a couple more because I know you've got a busy schedule over there.
Thank you.
Any advice for actors or voice actors out there?
Oh,
That's a big question.
it's a big one. Yeah, you're not throwing softballs at me. The advice that I give everyone is be yourself. Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't try to sound like me. Don't try to sound like anybody else. Don't try to be like anybody else. You are you. Your voice is your voice. Sometimes those things all line up, and the character is just yours, and no one else's. You try to chase an idea of what you're supposed to sound like or be like or look like even, and that's a very common tale that I hear, especially out here. Everybody's trying to be thinner or be buffer or be sound deeper. Just be you. You'll be much happier.
Great advice. Great advice. Also, just quickly, do you remember your time on Friends, the show?
Yeah, I do.
Do you
I
get
do.
asked
That
that a
was
lot?
not recently. It's that's another one of those shows. It's always on. Like
Yeah, I
every time
know. I know.
it's always on somewhere. God,
Uh,
love it. I mean, it and some friends of mine who've just recently like started rewatching the show during quarantine. They watched the entire. They're like, dude, I just saw you on Friends. I'm like, Yeah, that was me from like 20 years ago with big hair and suntan.
And you
Great
did
fun. Great, that cast, really hardworking cast. They
really?
talk about running, running lines and running bits to perfection. That was a well-oiled machine, and when you come into that, you got to be ready to just play.
Yeah, I can imagine that
Yeah,
the camaraderie between those guys
but
was.
camaraderie. But they didn't rely on the relationships. They really worked. Every single one of them. I have to give my hat off to them. Even in
Mm,
season, whatever they were in, they were grinding it, working hard.
yeah, right. I also forgot to ask you, David Fincher. Did you obviously got to meet him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was great. Another hard working guy. We were shooting. The very he does a lot of takes. I think we shot my scene 45, 50 times.
I was gonna ask that. He really
He does a
does.
lot of takes, a lot of coverage. But
Wow.
when we would take a break and go to lunch, he would sit there by the monitor and just twiddle and figure and futz with stuff. And he was constantly working, constantly working, constantly working. And I remarked on it. I said to him, I said, David, you're an animal. So I don't know any other way to do it.
Was it true that story that came out that there was like 100 takes on one scene? I'm guessing it is after you said
I
that.
believe it. He's
Yeah.
notorious for doing a lot of takes.
Does he
You know,
does he get you to change up your performance on each take, or how does he?
Slightly. It basically my attitude always is if they're not talking to you, then they must like what you're doing. So you just keep doing it until they tell you otherwise.
Yeah,
It
right.
will mostly be technical stuff. Could enter a little faster? Adjust your position here, open yourself up to technical stuff, and then try this, try that. But mostly it was just going again, going again, going again.
Amazing. So last one, mate. Vito, how do you look back on that game, those games, and just with gratitude, just humbled by the fan response? How do you look back on that work?
Yeah, very very humbled. Again, you're creating a character out of thin air, and the fact that it resonates with people on any level is amazing. But then the fact that not only does it resonate with people, but they truly care about this character.
Mm,
He's become quite real to many people, and that I'm blown away by that.
yeah, amazing, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, brother.
My pleasure.
It's been a blast.
Thanks
Um,
everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it.
yeah, is there anything you want to quickly say to the fans out there?
Much love to all of you for sharing the Vito love. I read your posts. They all bring a smile to my face. It pleases me to no end to know that this character will live on and that you guys enjoy it. So thank you.
And keep an eye out for Rick on some upcoming projects, game, TV, and movies. Also, Rick, follow Rick Instagram and Twitter. Rick,
Yes, if you follow me, I try to post stuff when I can. When it's legally allowed, I'll give you guys updates and send out releases and stuff when they come.
beautiful. And make sure you get a cameo from Rick. All right, Rick. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care, man.